Hello everyone, my name is Polina. I'm the community manager at CrazyMeta, and today we have our CTO, Alex. Alex, please, could you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm the CTO of CrazyMeta, and I'm very happy to be here today and talk a little bit about what we do and what I do. And yeah, it's gonna be great.
That's wonderful. Could you share something about your background with us, please?
Consultant for web, apps, blockchain, just the whole thing. And recently, I started CrazyMeta with my partner Eddie. It's really exciting to do my own project. So that's where we are now.
Nice. Because we have a lot of people in our community who are just introduced to blockchain and it's a new thing for them. Could you please explain us what is a dApp and how is it different from a normal application?
Sure. The D in dApp stands for decentralized, right? So the idea is that on a normal application, some company has some server somewhere or many servers all over the world, and these are owned by that company, and all the data is stored on that, like in that company's servers. On a dApp, that might also be the case, which is kind of strange. For like authentication and like anything that we can put on the blockchain, we would. And so instead of having a centralized server where some data is stored, have the blockchain would still use this kind of like old school centralized server stuff for a lot of information. For authenticating yourself, you do that with your private key, with your wallet, like MetaMask, something like this, and you can access these services without necessarily having to create an account with some company that you may or may not trust. So it's getting there. We're getting to the point where some dApps actually are fully decentralized. Most of the time, we still kind of see like these hybrid things at the moment. You get to own your data, like that's the theory at least. On the internet, sadly, of course, everyone's still tracking you, and everyone still has like the JavaScripts in the browser to get your data. And some dApps, I've seen them do that as well. So that's kind of a misnomer to say like, oh, it's like fully decentralized. It's really not. The web needs to be upgraded to actually happen, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. So if there's a dApp that does something that you want to do, and there's an app, use the dApp. Like that's for sure.
You talked about the technology and how like blockchain is developing. So I would like to ask, how do you keep yourself up to date with the latest technology?
I mean, it's a full-time job. To be totally fair, it's like this stuff is happening so fast, and so like actually the best information that I get is from friends and people like me that are nerds about this stuff. So like we're in some group chat, someone's like, hey, have you guys seen this? Everyone's like, oh my god, no, we haven't. And then everyone's like, oh, how can we use it? What do we do? And like that's really the best you can do that. Of course, there's some blogs from like famous people. There's Twitter. There's all kinds of stuff going on. And then there's like the tech side. There's the financing side, like whole coins and all that kind of stuff. There's so much information when it comes to this. Am I up to date? I would hope so. In blockchain, this stuff is just it's ridiculous. And like even just keeping up with normal programming stuff, that's developing as well. Like, that's a real thing as well. But the pace of like, hey, have you heard of this chain? We're making something on this chain. Like, no, I've never heard of this chain ever before in my life. Like, what is going on here? And like that happens all the time. So it's tough, but it's also really fun, right? Because I'm the kind of person that likes like new things. I guess like I'm not the early adopter type person. New programming language, new chain, that's awesome. Like that's what I'm going to spend my next weekend on. I enjoy it. Find some friends, like-minded individuals, start a group chat and start sharing, and just read and listen to what other people have to say in space. That's how you do it.
The blockchain changes so fast. So I think one of the biggest challenges to keep your project safe. So could you share with us what are the key principles in blockchain that help eliminate security threats? And what you as a CTO specifically do to ensure the safety of CrazyMeta?
The secret is do as little as, and by that I mean don't implement security things by yourself. Like there's a lot of good security software off the shelf that is vetted and audited and trusted. And if you try to be smarter than the experts, and by crypto I mean here cryptography experts, like we're talking math, right? If I try to do something like this, I may or may not succeed, and I may or may not have some kind of issue, with my software if I were to implement something like that. So really, the recommendation is always use the libraries that exist, as much as you can. If you really need to do something special, then make sure that you get it audited by third parties and so on. For us at CrazyMeta, we don't. With our business, what we're trying to do, I am not implementing any kind of cryptography at all. I'm not even by using the normal practices of for making things. Now for using things, it's also a little bit different, right? To do as a builder, don't build your own cryptography. I guess that's it.
What are your future plans like with Crazy Meta? And tell me something about Crazy Meta extensibility, like how big we can be.
Yeah. I'm very excited about Crazy Meta. When I was getting online, I was a young boy, and my dad explained this to me. It's like, here's a computer, and it's connected to all the other computers in the world, and you can get information and talk to people all around the world about anything at any time. It kind of blew my mind. I was so excited. I was like, right, like the metaverse, I guess it's 3D internet, and you have like the opportunity to get people in like digital worlds and spaces and so on. I'm very excited at the prospect of like, my family is all over the world. How about we meet on the moon and we simulate low gravity or something and like just jump around together? How cool would that be, right? And like, just need Elon's brain chip and then I'm actually there. Like, incredible, right? Like I need one of those ASAP. I'll be like the third person to get one, I hope. Something like that. Not the first, right? But so with Crazy Meta, I always thought, okay, it's like it's clothes, right? Like they protect me from the wind and rain. But actually turns out that thing is actually quite important because it's somebody's first impression, right? There you go. Crazy Meta logo. When you're in these digital spaces, especially now where it's kind of new and everything like this, like how do I say this? It's very difficult to be someone unique online if you don't have a lot of options, right? If everyone looks the same online, then you cannot kind of like express who you are. And the simplest way to express who you are in the metaverse is the way that it exists now is really visually. It's like, this is that avatar, this represents me, and it looks this way because I chose that to be that way, right? So that's the first choice. Like, what do you look like? Dictated to you. It's like, oh, you have these three options. You can wear this helmet or this hair, and then these are the shoes that you get. We don't have choices. We don't think shoes are important in this metaverse. It's just like it's everyone's a stormtrooper, and there's no like individuality. There's no kind of like special thing about your avatar, which is again the first thing that people see when they interact with you in these metaverses. And so I think this idea that Crazy Meta has, being able to say, like, this is me and this is how I look like in all of the different universes that are out there for me. Of course, with Crazy Meta, we want to also flip the whole thing on its head, which is also super cool, right? So the idea that it's not like your avatar looks like you, it's like you look like your avatar as well, right? So like being able to take that, like whatever you choose, and then kind of like wear it in the physical world, that's just a whole 180 kind of thing. And like, I love it. Life imitates art, art imitates life. This kind of like internet, online, offline, it's just kind of like having that all together. I think it's super cool. I'm so excited about Crazy Meta. I can talk about this all day.
No worries. We're here to listen to. Would you consider yourself a crazy person?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely like attracted to the subtle weirdness of being different place or being outside of your comfort zone. It's very easy for me to kind of fall into like a rut, and so I enjoy like just yanking myself out of that and just hey, let's do something that I've never done before or something. And that's really interesting to me. I guess so. Yeah, I'm crazy.
Thank you so much for your time today. It was a pleasure always to talk to you, and I hope we can do it more often. I'm looking forward to our next interview already. Have a nice day.
Let's do it. Thanks. You too.